Thank you so much, dear viewer, for joining us once again. In the previous programs, we've had the director for Afifa. Well, today we have an ex-convict who is joining us on the show. Geoffrey, welcome again to the program.
Thank you.
Maybe you'll tell us your name. I said Geoffrey
Ochango.
Ochango. Karibu sana.
Asante.
Yeah, I know from before we came on camera, we talked a little, and you said you were an ex-convict.
Yeah.
Maybe tell us a little bit about being in jail.
First, I'll have to thank God for everything that has happened. God has been always on my side. I went in jail 2020 on 15th December with an offense of stealing by servant. And I was imprisoned for 4 years.
When you say imprisoned by servant, what does it mean?
Stealing by servant.
Stealing by servant. When you say stealing by servant, what do you mean?
Stealing by servant is an offense that occurs. I was working in a microfinance by that time, and there was some loss of money, of which I was particularly subjected to. I was a debt collector working with Chap Solutions in Kisumu. But unfortunately, unfortunately, there was some loss of money of which I had to be responsible. So at the end of the day, I was caught up in the situation and jailed.
Would you maybe from accounting, was it just realize that there was loss of money, or you did understand and it was pointed out to you?
The issue was they said there were some transactions from my former clients that were not reaching
they were not reflecting.
The accounts office. They were not reflecting the accounts office.
Okay, so sorry about that.
Yeah.
So tell us about being in jail.
Actually, being in jail is hectic. It's not the best place to be.
What's the one thing you miss most when you're in jail?
My family.
Oh.
My people. You can imagine one coming from all the way, for example, from Coast to come and see you, and you are given a 15-minute talk only.
And they have traveled all the way to see you.
From Coast. So you see how terrible it is. You are not given enough time to talk to your family. Maybe sometimes you get to communication, you are given calls, you are given 2 minutes call every month. You can imagine 2 minutes call every month. Will you really express something good or bad to your family?
No,
that time isn't enough. Generally, life in prison, it's a hard way. And it's only God who might lead you out of that. For the convicts who rely on God, as I did, I believe my success is about God.
Thank you. Yeah. Did you like finish your term, or you got out before?
That's why I'm calling it a success, because I got out before my term.
What was your term?
My term was to expire on the 15th August 2023. So I have left jail 2.5 months before my EPD. Time. They call it EPD. Yes.
EPD meaning?
Expiry date. Your expiry date
should be... Okay, you expire.
Yeah.
You come in, but you have an expiry date.
Yeah.
Good. So when you were in jail, you say you missed your family.
Very much.
What thoughts went through your mind?
I was like, how is my... the time I went to jail, my firstborn was joining Form 1. She had just done class 8. She had been called to Luanya Girls in Busia. So I was like wondering, how will my wife support my kid without my support? as much as she might support, she will not give full support
Yes.
a kid needs. As much as they had some good shelter, but what are they eating? What are they suffering emotionally? What
Yeah.
are they suffering from? What
So
do they
worrying.
think every day? So those are some of the issues I was like thinking, what is happening in my home? What direction is my life taking? What will they need to do to uplift themselves? Yeah. Those are some of the major ideas
Things you were
that
worrying
for
about.
every man, are they okay? Are they alive? What about my parents? What about my other relatives? You think about everybody. That is the time you'll think about
What do they think
every
about
good,
you?
every good person you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what they think about you.
Yes.
Okay, and you just had one child by the time you were going in. Did you have other children?
I have another kid, a boy, who is in grade 2 by now. Yeah.
How old was he when you were taken into prison?
He was doing 5 years. 4.5. Is now doing 7.5. Yeah.
That's a long while.
Yeah.
Well, other than your family and your friends, how did your workmates maybe take it?
At that time, I was in court, or I was in that channel through the courts, behind the bars. I did not get some good time to talk to my fellow workmates.
colleagues.
They were not allowed to be almost around my circumference.
They were not. When you say they were not allowed, do you mean by the court or by the employer?
By the employers, my employer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It is so sad that when you need people around you and they are not there, it's something so heavy. So, in jail, what did you learn in jail? Something that you got into jail and like, oh, so this is how it goes.
I did a lot. And as much as it's a bad place, I've left jail a reformed man. And I've learned very many things. Theologically, I've come out with a diploma
Congratulations.
in theology. My first year and second year, I've graduated.
Nice.
I have some biblical subjects I've been going through. I have like 8 certificates
Wow.
to certify my
In
being
4
in
years?
prison. Yeah, in 4 years.
Okay.
And I did some agriculture, some a little bit of agriculture under Road Kenya program. I did some chemical industry where you can make some bar soaps, these solid soaps, whatever, disinfectants. I got a certificate in that, and many others.
Well, now tell us about Afifa. How did you learn about Afifa?
Afifa, it's my wife and the Afifa staffs that got to visit me one day without knowing if this is Afifa. I just saw my
That was the
family
first time you were
the
seeing
first
them?
time. That was on 13th January 2023. They came to Kibos prison in Kisumu, visited me. Fortunately, they encouraged me. They gave me some high hopes. Of course, by that time, I was just left with 7 months, 7.5 months to leave the prison by that time. So the director from FIFA talked to me, told me, gave me hope that Geoffrey, you'll one day come, you'll one day get to a place. This is just a passing glance. Don't get worried. Your time is little. Hold on yourself. When we come out, we shall see what we can do together.
Wow. And before your family came with Afifa, did you have any problems like them coming to visit you?
I didn't, because as a man, I believe the most important thing when you are in prison or when you are away with your family, the most important thing is constant communication.
Yeah.
To me, I had to, as much as we're given 2 minutes in a month, I had another way,
You had an alternative.
an alternative way of making or communicating to my family frequently.
Okay.
So that gave me the best chance to get to my people. And at the same time, I've been in Kisumu for 17 years. So that environment, Kibosu environment, was not new to me. That is where I've been staying with my family. All my
You
friends.
lived around that area?
Yes, all my friends
Okay.
are there. In fact, some of my inmates were some of my friends
Friends you
outside.
had known
yeah,
outside,
yeah, yeah,
from
yeah.
outside.
So you see, I was like, I'm still at home.
Yeah.
And like I would have gone to another jail, maybe
Uh-huh.
in Naivasha or Kitale, where people don't know me.
Okay.
So that gave me some ease
Yeah.
that I'm, though jailed, but I can see some common
Some
faces.
common faces, some
Yes.
familiar people, and you
Yeah.
have common stories.
Yeah.
Well, now, and Afifa stepped in, and they came and visited you in jail. What did you learn about them? What, something you can say about them?
Okay, they were all about taking care of families that were left behind by prisoners, whereby they had visited my home already, done an interview with my people, looked at the status my people were living in. So they were like, now we have to look at this Geoffrey. Where is this Geoffrey?
Where is Geoffrey?
Yes. We can get a physical contact with him to learn more about. That's the time I had to understand. I talked to my wife, told me, Bwana, Afifa is a body, an NGO that is really helping us so much.
Okay. Okay. So, what was the condition of the family after you came out? Maybe when you learned that Afifa had stepped in to help your family, what was the situation at home? What was the condition of the family before Afifa came into their lives?
Not so bad. Not so bad. But you know, at the end of the day, it cannot be so bad. But maybe you still need school fees.
Yes.
You still need some medical assistance. You still need some food to eat
To eat.
on daily basis.
Yes,
You
and
see?
maybe some counseling.
Some counseling, good. Some legal, at least some legal counseling for my people who are left behind. So I knew God was taking care of them, all in all.
Yeah.
But they were all well, because I always got in touch with them. Each and every short time, I had a way of talking to them.
Thank you so much, Geoffrey, for joining us. Someone who's watching us, tell them something about their freedom. You have.
What I can say about freedom, you'll never know the meaning of freedom until you lose it. And what I can tell my fellow Kenyans, my fellow people, anytime you can be a prisoner. Being a prisoner does not mean that you are so bad, or you are not allowed in the community, or you can't fit in the society. Anybody can be a prisoner. At the time I lost my freedom, I've wasted really a lot. I've been managed by the government. All my duties I do, working on a time frame. You eat on a time frame. You sleep on a time frame. You wake up on a time frame. You work your manual work every day on a time frame. It is so hard for a man who was very freelance, a man who was working, doing his things at home freely. When you lose freedom, you really understand the meaning of being free. But it's so hard. It's not a good thing. You would better be free. You will better enjoy freedom. Sleep hungry, but be at peace. Sleep hungry, but let your mind be set. Because as much as you lose freedom, you lose everything. You lose your trust, you lose your respect, you lose your integrity. All these things, when you come back in the home village, to recover them takes a long time. Nobody will want to take you for granted. Nobody will want to give you some support as in.
So Geoffrey, tell us about the reception you received when you came back home. How did the people receive you, your family, your wife and children, your parents, your siblings, and the society?
Generally, I can say I really worked on my reception while still in jail, because the time they heard that I'm doing some ABCD, I'm involved in such activities, they got happy. Everybody got happy. And I made sure I had a project I was doing in my local church, the Butunyi SEK Church, St. Teresa's. I managed to supply them with Bibles for the youth program. That was one way of bringing back my trust.
You supplied the Bibles while still in jail?
Yeah.
Wow.
I got a donor who gave me enough Bibles, like 30 pieces, as a gift for what I was doing, because I was teaching others about the Word of God.
Yeah.
And therefore, I prepared myself for my reception. When I got home, okay, my offense was not at my local place or my local level. It was an offense that occurred in town. So many of them did not know what inspired, what
happened. Yeah.
They had no good information. So to keep my trust into my people, I had to begin that project. I even brought them recently when I was out, I brought them some books. They can read, the youth can read, even the old, about marriage, about love, about everything about God. So when I came in, I was received by the church. And in fact, before I left Kibos Medium, I was to be brought by the church. It's only that it was out of the first presidential amnesty, the previous holiday, that it was abrupt that I must leave.
Yes.
Otherwise, I was organizing for a function whereby the church at the prison level was to visit my home church,
Yes.
and make something good. So when I came home, everybody was happy.
Yes.
I was at least at home for 14 days, receiving visitors each and every time.
That was a good reception, and we
Yeah.
thank God for that.
That people now were like, we want to see this changed Geoffrey. We want to see this guy. Some of them were like, is he slim? Is he like what?
How is
he?
he?
Yes. But fortunately, they found that it is me. Everybody was happy. The
Yes,
society
thank
was
God.
happy. My people were happy. My parents were happy. My kids, some of them were at school. They've just come in for half-term is when they have got me in. But everybody was happy.
We really thank you so much, Geoffrey.
Thank you.
It's such a good and inspiring story that even if you go in, you can come out. And one thing I really picked is you need to work on your value.
Yeah.
If you're going out, if you get out, work on your value. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, dear listener and viewer, for joining us once again on this program. And my promise is next week we are going to have another program once again on Afifa, Advocacy for Incarcerated Family. My name is Tabitha. See you next week.